Good morning and welcome to our first BandLab lesson. So at this point I'm going to assume that you are already logged in and created an account with BandLab. If not, I suggest that you pause this video and you go away and do that and then come back to this video once you are logged into BandLab and you have a screen similar to this. Alright, so to create a new song, we go ahead and press the create button in the top right hand corner, so I'm going to do that. And it brings up this window here for a new track. There are lots of ways you can go here. We're going to go for the browse samples, but just to give you a bit of an outline, instruments is when you are plugging virtual instruments into your keyboard. A good example is Midi keyboards, and you can play the notes straight into the software. There's a drum machine on there, which is handy for making drum beats and organizing your own drum beats. This voice/mic is for capturing sound using the microphone either in your laptop or attached to your laptop. We will be using that later on. The next two are where you can plug in a guitar or a bass into BandLab and use BandLab as an amp, but you need another device and audio interface for that, and I won't be going over that in my lessons. There's also an import audio or MIDI option, where if you have other audio files or other MIDI files, you can pull them into BandLab. I'm going to go ahead and click on Browse Samples. Sometimes you might hear me refer to samples as loops. A lot of them are loops. Some of them are just samples of a particular instrument doing a particular thing. Our samples are down the right hand side here, and they're sort of sorted into styles, which is handy. What we're going to do is we're going to pick one of these styles, and then I'm going to build a song to a form, a musical form or structure. That structure for us is going to be an intro of 4 bars, a first part of 8 bars, perhaps you could call that a verse or a part 1, a third part, which you could also call a chorus perhaps, which is going to be also 8 bars, and then an outro of 4 bars. That makes for a really, really short, sharp song. It's only 24 bars long, just enough to get the message across. So to access these packs, you just click on them. And here are all the samples, all loops within this pack. There's not that many to make a song from, but it might be easier for your first song just to stick to one, because we know that they sort of match and they work together well, rather than going off and finding samples from other packs. Okay, so to audition or hear these samples, we just click on the play button. Some of them are as simple as single strikes of an instrument. But as you go through, you'll find some that are actually whole loops. So this is what we call a sample. It's a sample of a particular instrument, whereas down here we'll probably have... that's still a sample. That's a loop because it goes on, and you can see in the title it says loop there. Okay. I'll just point out that on the right hand side of these, there's actually a key. E flat major, E flat major, F major, G major, F sharp major. This will become important because you'll find that if you choose samples from the same key, they will match a lot better than if you mix and match samples from different keys. All right, you don't need to know anything more than that at this point. Just know that if you use a sample in F sharp major, it might be a good idea to choose your other samples from F sharp major. Otherwise, you might find that they don't work very well together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and choose some stuff for my song. That sounds like a good little intro. So I can pull that in just by clicking and dragging into this area here. And I can move it around. Notice how it moves around absolutely freely. I can put it exactly wherever I want. This is important to notice because when I start copying this and making more of them, oh, it's made that on top of the other one. It does that sometimes. I don't really know why. There we go. See how that one's placed it exactly after the last one? That's really handy. BandLab doesn't always do that. So one thing that's good to turn on up in view, this snap to grid is really useful. If you turn that on, and you'll see a little icon here has gone green, you can also just press that button there. That's the snap to grid button. You'll notice that it wants to stick to those vertical lines. And this is really useful when I want to line it up with the sample before it. It just makes life a little bit quicker. Yep, sometimes it just puts them on top of the old one, which is irritating, but now I'm making a mess of it. Let's go back. I want to make a few more of these. There we go. Oh, 24 bars. So that's it. That's my whole song. 24 bars. Done. Okay, I don't want to listen to that all day because it will get pretty boring. So let's look for some other loops I can add in. That might be a good intro one as well. Let's sit it there for now. Oh, yep, all right. I like him. Let's get that heavy sort of thing happening. In fact, let's copy that. That can be part of my second part or my verse. Now, I'm not quite lined up here, am I? Let's line these up. Notice how I'm lining up my samples so that the rhythm all matches and it all sounds neat and tidy. That could be for my part 2. I could use that for my part 2. Pop him there. What else have we got? Nothing. Tanny. And I could use that for my outro because it's a bit lower key and a bit softer. Might use that for my outro as well. Line that up. Alright, need a bit more meat in the middle then. Let's just see how that sounds. Now I need something in there. Actually, little variation on the bass there. Similar but different enough to keep the audience interested. So that transition should sound. Yeah, I like that. It just needs a bit of something else. Let's try that. Little vocal grab. Let's try that. Bit sudden coming into the ending there, isn't it? I need something perhaps to continue on. Maybe I need the bass. The bass just needs to stay behind. Let's try that. And then it needs a sort of a psh or something just at the end there. That might be just what I'm looking for. I've gone over time slightly, but you know, my song sort of ends at 24 and then it's just got this psh at the end. Okay. All right, and there is a really crude but simple piece of music. I've used structure. I've got an intro, an outro. I've got 2 parts in the middle. And you can see how I've lined everything up so it all makes sense and all works together. So what I'd like you to do now is go away and have a go at making your own BandLab composition. And good luck.